Commander Horizons 3 has brought a lot of speculators back to the market, and in today's video we are going to talk about the things you need to know if you're looking at some of these amazing cards and some of the pitfalls you can avoid by just paying a little more attention than most people. A new set and a lot of speculators. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. And a reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. We're only 289 subscribers away from hitting the 22,000 mark. So thanks again, everyone, for pitching in and helping my channel grow. So a new set like Modern Horizons 3 coming down the pipeline, of course, is going to attract a lot of attention to the cards being printed, as well as cards that are recently printed, getting that second look over because maybe the flash has turned away from them, their values have started to slip. Even though it's a valuable card, something else has caught players' eyes, and they're quick on the FOMO track, which means cards go up, cards go down. Some people make a lot of money, and on the other hand, a lot of people lose the money. So where do you find yourself in that big arena of buying cards, maybe trying to speculate a little, trying to get a little bit of an inside curveball thing? Well, depending on where you get your information, how you decide to buy your cards, there's a lot of different avenues you can take. But some of these cards should be watched more closely than others. Some cards deserve a little bit of an extra inside look because they've seen a lot of movement and a lot of things are going on. So I want to share a few of these cards with you today. But before we go over the cards I'm going to show you, let's remember that these are just a few of the cards and my reasoning behind these cards. I'm sure many of you could actually drop some comments in the comment section noting some other cards you've seen that are probably dipping in value or will probably see an increase. And that's a good thing to spread that information on the channel, share it around, and let people know, unless, of course, you're the one who wants that inside track and you're the one trying to get ahead. As with most things, I usually recommend buying 4 copies of something when it's cheap. You buy 4, you don't have to worry about it. If you think it's a potential speculation card, then I say go with 8 copies or 12. That way you get to keep your 4, but you have 8 to sell, and 8 copies is not impossible to sell. It actually can be moved quite quickly in a market that could be saturated with a lot of cards. It gives you a little bit of a leeway room from somebody who tried to buy 150 copies of something, and we're going to discuss that because it happens all the time. So let me share with you guys the first card. It's kind of interesting that this card has dipped so much in value already, but this is where things get headed. Now, this is the Silicrim Synthesizer, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, the big score. Now you can see here the average price is $41.25. And of course the daily change, you can see things are going up and down. But the overall change from a month ago is minus $31.64. This is seeing tons of play on Arena. I've already played against this deck several times in standard nights, so I've seen how it works. Being able to generate all kinds of creature tokens is an amazing thing to have happen. And of course, the fact it comes in and gives you the pro right away of being able to scry gives the inside track of what you're going to be casting going forward. So any artifact heavy deck would love to have a card like this. But is the value there? Is this a card that is going to continue to go down? Can you save some money? Is it because we're being distracted by the other cards around us? Is there a further potential for a card like that to go up later on after the groundswell of things from Modern Horizons 3 bring the crowd back to its normal temper in a pot, and they look back and say, I should have bought that card. Look, it's creeping back up again. You can relate this to cards like Sheoldred and other Praetors and stuff that have gone up and down in value, but slowly started to increase in value over time due to their playability. Cards can get ignored for a variety of reasons, but I usually attribute a lot of it to just so much market noise around you. People saying it's going to drop, or people saying this card is overrated, it's going to fall, and then only to find out that it goes up in value. So you got to look at what the card can do for you, look what metas it's being played in, and there's a lot to cover in all those areas. That's why usually people will look at YouTube content creators, try to get inside track from various writing online sources. It's interesting, guys. Now our next card, this one here again, Echoing Deeps. Now, this card is super cheap, okay? This is a card, I'll be honest, I bought 10 copies, okay? I spent $10. The Moxman, he forked out a $10 bill to get 10 copies of this card. Now you may ask why. Well, when you take a look, this is a land and a cave. When it comes into play, this thing can copy the effects of land cards that are in the graveyard, okay? Now, they're a cave in addition to other things, but it's still very interesting to see this card is so cheap when you look at all the cards that people may blow up with land destruction and end up in your graveyard, which means you don't have to worry so much when a card gets nailed. You don't have to worry if a card gets blown up because this is a secondary source that allows you to go back and utilize those cards. And that's why I'm going to share the next card with you. Most of you guys know with the upcoming set we are going to have with Modern Horizons 3, this card, Urza's Cave, has gotten a lot of attention. Yeah, it taps for 1 colorless, no biggie, but its 3 and Sacrifice is big. You can use that, of course, with Echoing Deeps, and you can see how you can combo these cards together to do all kinds of crazy effects, and this card has, of course, seen tremendous sales volume, and it shouldn't be ignored. This is not something that you should sit on, okay? That doesn't mean I'm telling you to go out and buy 4 copies. I'm saying, if you get it at 10 or 12 bucks on an uncommon, you should be a little bit worried because Wizards is more likely to reprint it as soon as possible, but that could still be 2 years away, and we don't know where this card is going to go, but what we do know is cards like Echoing Deep have sold several hundred copies in the last couple of days. Urza's Cave has sold thousands of pre-copies. Like, I don't know how many orders are going to be canceled, but there's no way you can have the expectation that stores are going to be able to fulfill 150 pre-orders of that particular card. I don't know how much people think are getting opened, but it's going to cause a weird market loop where this card spikes in, just goes up, probably to 20 bucks, and then slowly drifts back down as, you know, it becomes more apparent we should open more boxes. Somebody's going to open it. Maybe not me, maybe not you, but somebody out there is going to do it, and that'll give the market more of these cards. And if it doesn't, here's the caveat. If it doesn't get opened enough and that card continues to spike, Wizards will do something to shove it into a commander deck in some upcoming set. They will have a follow-through to make sure that card gets reprinted, just like we saw with cards like Deadly Dispute. These cards will find a way into the market because they just can't have it going that high. They can't allow it. As much as they think it's cool, they know it totally unsettles the balance of the value of uncommon, rare, and mythic. So keep that in mind. But at the same time, somebody's going to make a lot of money off those cards. Anyone who gets their orders fulfilled at that $3, $4 level, who doesn't have their order canceled, and I know some people already have, then we're going to see some crazy stuff going on. And this is people who want to make a lot more money. They see the card spiking, so they cancel your order. Legitimate stores won't do it, but there's a lot of secondary sellers who will take the bite on their negative feedback and just cancel the order, okay? It's already happening, so I'm not going to say it's going to hit you, but be aware if you try to buy 50 copies, probably not going to get it. If you ordered 1 copy, hey, your chances are pretty good. But this is where you find the market space. Cards like Tiny Bones, the other cards from Thunder Junction, there is a lot of cards with value. A lot of cards that will see future play, especially in Standard, but we're going to see a lot of cards also find homes in Commander, in Pauper, Pioneer, Modern. You are going to see these cards come around. And hey, there's even going to be a few legacy players in there, a few vintage players who pick up some key pieces just for fun. And that's where you find yourself with a set like this. The speculators are going to come out in force. They've already started buying things like the Aetherwork Marvels we talked about last week. I warned people last week when it was like $5, $6. And now we're all the way up to $10, $12, $13, $14 on things like TCG Player. Now, if you're using TCG Player as a buying platform, please consider using my affiliate link. It's found in the description of this video. This channel gets a kickback of 3.5%. It lets me buy prizes for the channel. I do appreciate everyone who takes the time to click my link for their purchases on TCG Player. It does help out, guys, so thanks again. I know a lot of you guys do, but still, I just want to make a note of it for anyone who's new to the channel and was unaware. So when you go forward with this, when you look at these cards, these are things you need to note if you need a copy. If you need just 1 copy, you may be paying a few bucks more. If you wait the 90 days, I used to be able to tell you that the cards were going to fall in value. The speculators and the rate at which we open boxes now is entirely different, so it's not going to happen. Some cards, of course, will dip, but a lot of cards are not going to find the market drop that a lot of us used to be. We were used to it. We were used to that market drop. We understood that there'd be so many flooding the market that the price would drop. That's not the world we live in right now, and that's interesting as its own side note that players haven't come to grips with that yet. They still think it's going to happen, and it just doesn't. A lot of these cards, think about Vaultborn Tyrant, think about some of these cards, $20, $30, $40 that are hanging in there. Look at cards even from some of the outgoing sets like Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Look at Otawara the Soaring City. Remember when that thing was all the way down to like, I think when it first got released it was $4 And I bought a playset because it was so cheap. I said, look how great this card is. And look where it went, that $15, $20 level. Look at the Triomes. Look at some of the cards we've been talking about over the last couple of years. And you can see now those cards have kind of flatlined out. They went up a little bit, then they went down. That's the 90-day to 120-day the regular thing. But now we don't see that. It kind of goes up, goes over, and kind of like slowly glides down, if at all. A lot of these cards are staying higher. Now, we could take a look, of course, at the first card there, the Synthesizer. And that thing, of course, has dropped huge in the last month. That's a really good thing. But the question is it going to keep falling down? Was it overhyped? Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think so. I don't know how many people are going to pay it at that price. It's still 120 to 140 bucks to get yourself a play set of 4. But I know some people who have bought them and they paid the top dollar price. And when you see it drop like this, you think, hey, did I just get ripped off? Did I lose money? There's always a chance a card like that is going to bounce back, Sheoldred style. So keep that in mind. You haven't lost your money until you sell the card. That's how it's got to be played out. And because these cards may not hit the secondary market again after somebody buys them, that means there's always a better chance that card going back up. So either way, great information, great stuff to let you guys know about. And keep it in mind that, yes, cancellations are going on. As much as I hate to say it, I know some stores... I've been reported to me that some of them are canceling some of their orders because they're not opening enough boxes. But the good news is the stores I know of myself, they've promised when they do get the second wave in, they will honor those prices that they put things out at, and that's a good thing, okay? Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel. Any comments, drop them down in the comment section. Don't forget to share any knowledge you have of cards you think would be totally awesome as a speculator card, and maybe you think it's going to go somewhere, then we can all hash it out in the comment section. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow with another video. Shop smart, shop S-Mart. Welcome back to the end. This is the end of the video. I mean, it's over. This is the end. The credits are rolling. It's just going to keep going for a few more seconds to let you know that this video actually ended. But before we get to the end, just a reminder, when you see all these names going by, these are the patrons. These are the ones who support the channel, the YouTube membership members who make these videos possible. So, thanks, guys. Where do you think things are going to go? What expectation did people have? Welcome back. We're at the end of the video. And in case you're new to the end of the video, it kind of goes like this. Ramble Jamble! That's right. We're here at the end. I got my coffee today. No milk mistakes. Psh. And I have to say, we talked about this for 9 months. How the prices were going to be a little bit wonky and things weren't going to go the way people thought. By the way, there was a store who did promise 50 copies at $2 each. 50 copies, $2 each for the cave, for the Urza's Cave. When I asked them on the email, they said they're going to honor it. Kudos to them. They know they're losing a ton of money, but they're sticking by their word, and I respect that. It's horrible. It sucks. You're losing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but they're staying by their word, and that's a cool thing to see. So let's hope we have more stores like that. Let's hope that people can pay attention to these cards and understand where some of them are going to go ahead of time. And if not, let's hope that they're watching the channel and can learn it. Maybe a little bit late, but learn it with us. It's like a choose your own adventure. Turn to page 67.